Hey, what's up? My name's J.M. Chaley and welcome to my channel. This week I want to talk about underwriting, the problem of underwriting. And I want to kind of poke at that a little bit because this is something that's, I don't know. It's bugged me for a while. People talking about underwriters. And if you go out on AuthorTube and, folks like me that make videos about writing, and there's so many videos about underwriting and what you can do to increase your word count. And there's great advice. I don't want to believe me. I'm not going to say on any of that kind of stuff. If you missed that, that was right? So no, I'm not going to poo-poo on anybody's great advice that they've given on underwriting and how to bulk up your word count. If that's your goal, that's what you want to do. There's lots of great videos on that. That's not what this is. What this video is me kind of saying, underwriting? Who cares? Maybe it's not a problem. And that's kind of what I want to explore here. But before we get into that, I want to talk about The Unlife of Lisa Cooper just a minute to say that it is out there for sale. It is out in the wild. It is available for ebook, paperback, and hardback wherever books are sold. And it's got some vampire action, adventure. It's got a sweet little dog. He's not actually little, he's huge. But it's got some cozy moments. How can't you have cozy moments if you have a dog in your book, honestly? And it's got a wee bit of romance as well. Check it out. Again, it's available on ebook, paperback, and hardback wherever books are sold. Lots of fun, great adventure. But let's get into underwriting. Now, myself, I cut my teeth on Stephen King's On Writing. When I first really started to concentrate on learning the craft, and we're always learning, right? We're all still learning. But when we started our journey, I think a lot of us picked up Stephen King's On Writing. It's a very popular book. We pass it around to each other. Hey, have you read On Writing? That's where you should probably start, right? And that's okay. It's great. I mean, it's Stephen King, right? And I believe Stephen King was basically like, you want to write 100,000 words, 110,000 words, 120,000 words, because what are you going to do? You're going to chop the hell out of it at the end of the day, right? You're going to whittle it down. You're going to kill your darlings. And that manuscript that's 120,000 words could go down to 90-something thousand words. And guess what? A novel is 50,000 words or more. So you want to have enough when you inevitably hit that mark where you need to cut stuff and edit stuff, because you're going to be removing stuff. You may remove entire chapters, whole scenes, big whole side plots. You may realize, I don't even need this character, and then go through and just remove every instance of that character that they appear throughout your entire manuscript, and lose thousands and tens of thousands of words. Who knows? Well, that process doesn't and shouldn't and won't change whether you're an underwriter or not. What I want to poke at, what I want to ask the question of is, what if you finish your manuscript and you're an underwriter and you find yourself at, 70,000 words. And then you go through the process of editing and killing darlings and doing all the stuff that we do. And you go from 70,000 words down to 50,000 words. Oh no. So my question is, do you care? Why do we care? If the story that you're trying to tell is 50,000 words long, then what's the need to make it longer? Yeah, maybe you're trying to get traditionally published, and maybe there's editors out there, or agents out there, that want, a longer book. Maybe that's what they're in the market for. Okay. Then, maybe those videos on how to bulk up your book is what you should be after. But if you're just talking about writing your story and telling the story that you want to tell, then you're going to tell it in as many words as you need. That's kind of how I see it. What if your book starts off at, again, you're an underwriter, right? So maybe you only write 60,000 words, and you do all your edits and you go through the process, and now you're down to 40-something thousand words. Oh no. Now your book's not even, technically, it's not even a novel. It's a novella. Who cares? I mean, that's what I want to talk about. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments on this, honestly. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm way off base here. But if you're an underwriter, that tells me that you've told your story in as many words as you've needed. Why are you adding more scenes that aren't in your original vision, especially if you're a plotter? Right? Because if you're a planner, you've outlined everything. You've gone through and said, this happens, and so this happens, and so this happens, and so this happens, right? These events that are character-driven events are happening one after the other because of what happened prior, right? So your character does something after the inciting incident, causes something to happen, and as a result of that, this other thing happens. As a result of that, this other thing happens, and so on and so forth until the end. So what are you adding in that wasn't already planned for? You squeezing in some scene in the middle? Now, if you've forgotten something, if you're like, oh, geez, I forgot to explain the repercussions of this thing and I need another scene, yes, of course, add content. But if we're just looking to add content for the sake of word count, we should probably back up and take a look at what we're adding. Is it filler? Is it necessary? Do we need this? Is this part of the main character's journey? Is it the main character taking action towards their ultimate goal? Is it the setting of the world around the main character reacting to something the main character has done? And it's germane to the main character's goal. Again, this is not a video on story shapes or story structure or how to tell stories. What I'm poking at is whether or not you need extra words to tell your story if you've already told it in the number of words you had. And by the way, if you're an indie author, this is a plus. If you're going to tell your story, tell it in as many words as it needs. You don't have some outside person saying, oh, well, we want to have at least this many words. Your printing costs are going to be lower. Honestly, if your page count's lower, your printing costs are going to be lower. That's a good thing. And you can price your book accordingly and ultimately maybe even get more sales. So really, that, in a nutshell, that's really what this video is. Poking at this sort of stigma of underwriting. Oh, I'm an underwriter. Oh, no. I mean, I get the problem if you're an overwriter. Right? You write some epic 180,000 word thing and you're like, how am I going to sell this? How much fluff do I have in here? What can I cut? Oh my God. And you have that kind of dilemma. That's different. But if you're an underwriter and you've told your story, what's the problem? So I want to challenge us to look at that and ask the question, is this the number of words I need? And if the answer to that question is yes, then cut yourself some slack. Maybe go forward with it. And enlist your critique partners, enlist your beta readers and say, is this too short? Am I missing something? Is this lacking? Is there some sort of scene or element or arc that I'm missing that you expected to see that you didn't see? And maybe you've missed something that you should add. And that's a good thing. Enlist your readers to help you out. But don't just sit in a vacuum alone and make up scenes to cram your word count up for no reason. If you've got your story done and it's in the amount of words that it needs to be in, then I think you're okay. So that about wraps it up. Underwriting, is it really that much of a problem? I say no. I say tell your story in as many words as it takes to tell your story. And if your novel ends up becoming a novella, That's okay. Who cares? Tell your story. Make it the best that it could possibly be. Word count is going to be secondary to the feelings that you're going to leave your readers with. All right, so I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments because I know this is probably an unpopular opinion. I'm going against the grain here. Everyone, seems to think that underwriting is this big cursed problem that some authors have. I'm challenging that, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if you liked this video, if you thought it was helpful, please smush that like button. And as always, please subscribe. I post most Thursdays. And you can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And you can also check out jmchaley.com. Click on Contact Me. Leave me a message. Let's keep in touch. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.